Welcome to the Author's Corner Review, brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM. I'm Roberta Foster, and today I'm going to be sharing some nonfiction books with you. The first is called They Had Names, Tracing the History of the North American Indigenous People, written by Nathaniel T. Jensen. This book represents a monumental reversal in the creation-evolution debate, says Harvard-educated PhD Nathaniel Jensen. For decades, critics of creation science have made specific demands. They flow from the nature of science. As a discipline, all claims are provisional. They are subject to ongoing experimental evaluation. In his new book, They Had Names, Tracing the History of the North American Indigenous People, Jensen, a developmental biologist who works with Answers in Genesis, says, "I've always known there was something off about the history of North America." He meticulously studied DNA from native groups, finding that Native American peoples had suffered a profound population collapse, as high as 90%, after European contact. The collapse is unmistakable. His study of the DNA through the Y chromosomes, fathers pass on Y chromosomes, produces the best historical record of North America. In his studies, Jensen found Native American arrivals were close relatives of the men connected to Attila the Hun. Other groups migrated from Mesoamerica. In AD 300s to 600s, North America underwent a dramatic and permanent change because it was invaded, says Jensen. There was a mass migration across the Bering Strait. Massachusetts was simply the last stop on an incredibly long west-to-east journey, one that began on an entirely different continent. For Jensen and other creationists, the origins of indigenous tribes in North America are significant. For more than 150 years, evolution has marshaled evidence for itself by excluding creationist ideas from the onset. Evolution has not gained support by performing experiments that test competing hypotheses. Once we do, the entire dynamic of the debate changes, he says. Jensen goes on to say, one of the purposes of this book is to provoke the recovery and dissemination of pre-contact history, in hopes of preserving indigenous history and to see Native Americans come to faith in their creator. And that is the book They Had Names by Nathaniel T. Jensen, published by Master Books, a division of New Leaf Publishing. The next book is The Most Overwhelmed Women of the Bible, How Their Stories Help Us Find Peace, written by Mary DeMuth and published by Regnery Faith. Many of us feel overwhelmed by daily life. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the tasks and circumstances of your life? Do you wake up every day feeling unmotivated or stressed out? You are not alone. Not only have others around you experienced the same things, but many women in the Bible have too. We all have asked questions like, why do some people seem to be able to balance everything? What would a peaceful, restful life look like for me? How can I find God in the midst of my busy life? As Mary DeMuth shows us, the Bible is replete with women just like us, women who felt the weight of overwhelming schedules and circumstances. In their stories, you will not only learn more about the women of the Bible, but you'll also begin to unpack ways to find true rest and peace. Through the raw and real stories of 10 biblical women who also felt overwhelmed, you can unearth new ways to find rest in a world that applauds hurry. The Most Overwhelmed Women of the Bible will help you find true rest, shake hands with who you are and where you are, and empower you to find hope amid life's chaos. The author, Mary DeMuth, is a literary agent, daily podcaster at the Pray Every Day show, scripture artist, speaker, and the author of more than 50 books, including the most misunderstood women of the Bible. She lives in Texas with her husband and is the mother of 3 adult children. You can find out more about her at Mary DeMuth, that's Mary DeMuth, marydemuth.com. Once again, The Most Overwhelmed Women of the Bible by Mary DeMuth. Next is a book by Amy Simpson written on mental illness, what to know and how to help. When friends and family members witness a loved one exhibiting symptoms of mental illness, it can be shocking, disorienting, and even traumatizing. Many families are overwhelmed and have no idea where to find support. Author Amy Simpson knows this difficult journey well. She has spent years walking alongside a family member with a mental illness. She now educates churches, families, and people helpers about the best way to provide support for those facing a mental health crisis. This book will help you clear up common misconceptions about mental illness with a biblical view of God's heart for those who struggle. You'll gain a better understanding of mental illness and find resources and practical suggestions for how to help effectively and safely. Amy Simpson is an author, a speaker, and a leadership coach who helps people get clear on their calling and fully engage in life with guiding purpose. She's the award-winning author of Blessed Are the Unsatisfied, Finding Spiritual Freedom in an Imperfect World, and Troubled Minds, Mental Illness and the Church's Mission. Amy lives with her husband Trevor in the suburbs of Chicago. And this is the book Mental Illness, What to Know and How to Help by Amy Simpson, published by Aspire Press. The next book is Being Fully Known, The Joyful Satisfaction of Beholding, Becoming, and Belonging, written by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith and published by Esther Press. According to a recent article from CNBC, Americans have been taught that our work is the single most important way to prove our worth. In essence, what we do has been heralded as far more important than who we are. No matter our life stage, student, graduate, adult, parent, or retiree, the message has been communicated and received that we need to perform in order to matter. Researchers assert that this mindset is making us miserable and induces high rates of depression, shame, and substance abuse. In her new book, Being Fully Known, The Joyful Satisfaction of Beholding, Becoming, and Belonging, best-selling author and board-certified internal medicine physician Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith invites readers to step away from the pressure to perform and embrace the freedom of living authentically. While our hustle culture has produced striving, restlessness, and discontent in our soul, Dr. Sandra's life-changing guide will bring you into a true emotional rest. Through a genuine God awareness, self-acceptance, and learning how to break free from fear-based living patterns, you'll discover the revelation of who you really are, known, seen, and valuable. Weaving biblical wisdom, her keen professional insight into human behavior, and personal reflection, Dr. Sandra confronts our negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that often leave us feeling trapped and unfulfilled in lives we don't really love. Being Fully Known helps us bridge the disconnect between our longing to live and express our true selves and the fears that hold us back. Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith is a board-certified internal medicine physician, an international speaker, and the CEO of Restorasis, a workplace well-being consulting agency. You can learn more about her at her website, www.drdaltonsmith.com. And that is Being Fully Known by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, published by Esther Press. And now I'll recap the books that I've shared with you. Being Fully Known by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, published by Esther Press. Mental Illness, What to Know and How to Help by Amy Simpson, published by Aspire Press. The Most Overwhelmed Women of the Bible, How Their Stories Help Us Find Peace, written by Mary DeMuth and published by Regnery Faith. And the first book, They Had Names, Tracing the History of the North American Indigenous People, written by Nathaniel T. Jensen and published by Master Books. If you'd like more information on any of these books, we invite you to visit the publisher's website. This is Roberta Foster on the Author's Corner. Thanks for joining me next time on KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.